Let's talk to Robert Campbell-Lloyd, who's on the line. He runs Pedlars.info. Has been fighting for the rights of peddlers for years. Robert, good evening.
Good evening, Mark.
Tell me, first of all, it's a pleasure to have you on the programme. Tell me, first of all, about the difference between a peddler and a street trader.
Okay, it falls into two categories: authorised traders and unauthorised traders. Unauthorised traders are people who just turn up on the street without any sort of authority, and they try to do what peddlers and licensed street traders do. There's then the secondary difference between a licensed street trader and a certified peddler. The council licenses street traders to set up their pitches, and they take some hundreds of pounds a year for that. A peddler can go to the local police station and obtain a peddler's certificate, which costs him £12.25 per annum, 4p a day, and he can establish himself on a street as an entrepreneur, selling whatever goods he would like to throughout the country.
I'm guessing the history of peddlers and peddling then does go back some way.
You can trace it all the way back to the Magna Carta. The Magna Carta gave us protection of the right to work. And that doesn't live in the Human Rights Act, but it lives in what subsequently, through the Hawkers and Peddlers Act, and now in the 1871 Peddlers Act, it survives there as a civil right for any person above 17 to trade or to have resided in some locality for 30 days, be of good faith and good intent, and the certificate gives him the authority to trade in any goods, any place, any time throughout the whole of the United Kingdom.
And is the problem then, as certainly as some shoppers would see it, and certainly as some councils would see it, with the unlicensed traders and the non-certified peddlers?
Yes. And, for example, the Manchester City Council Act was brought in to deal with this. And so providing people act within the legislation, then they are lawful. If they don't have a peddler's certificate, the police can move them. If they and resist their return, the council can do the same. They're authorised officers. They can confiscate goods. They can seize goods. There are lots of penalties available. But after all, this is a civil activity. It's not a criminal activity. And unfortunately, when the word street trader is being used in common parlance, it's not specifically separating the difference between the two authorised types of trading. And councils are primarily the enemy of a peddler, because the peddlers don't pay revenue to the councils. Only licensed street traders pay for their license and pitch. And it's necessary to regulate them because they cause a public liability with their stalls and obstacles on the street.
And is it true that the peddlers can use a conveyance to get their goods to where they want to peddle them, but you can't sell from a stall? Is that correct?
Well, you can exhibit, display and sell from your either box around your shoulders or a small trolley and apparatus. And in the Manchester City Council Act, it's a volumetric capacity of 1 cubic metre. So if you have a trolley that's bigger than that, displaying its goods, then you can be removed from the street. The law exists to enable the council to enforce that.
I mean, we'll be looking at Manchester tonight, Robert. Are you disappointed that the city seems to be having another crackdown?
Well, it's been going on all summer. We get reports of Manchester Evening News reporting the big clampdown, which they should for all unauthorised traders, but not for authorised traders. The licensed street traders and the certified peddlers should be left to carry on their business. They're entrepreneurs. And who determines whether they should stay or not? Not the council. It's the market that determines. If people want those people there, they'll support them. If they don't support them, they'll disappear and go to another place.
There was an interesting comment from Mick, who got in touch with the programme from Liverpool when he heard we were going to talk about this, saying that he feels now that some of our streets, some of our city centres are becoming over-sanitised. What's your view?
Well, the cultural life is either something that exists on the street or it doesn't exist. And if what we're meant to be is simply consumers on a street, then it makes it a pretty boring place. I quite like listening to the music as I walk down the street, picking up some peanuts from the peanut man or the hot chestnuts from the chestnut man, and having a natter to all those interesting entrepreneurs, because it makes for the cultural life of whatever city the public in that city want to support. And it's the public that should determine, not councils.
Thank you, Robert. Robert Campbell-Lloyd is from Pedlars.info. If you have any views on what Robert's been saying, what you've heard from our correspondents on Twitter and on the text, then do let me know. This is Lamar.